Welcome in, everybody, to what is race number 7 here of the PGR Lite Series. Did have a little bit of a delay right there due to the National Championship game. We promise no spoilers on that, at least for now. But we are here. We're going to be racing the Xfinity cars here tonight. We've got a pretty large field here, and joining me in the booth again is Matthew Baker. So, Baker, how you feeling?
Last race of the regular season, going to be good. See if we can get any new first-time winners here to lock themselves in, or if we're going to get another uh, two-time winner or one-time winner to get back into the playoffs, and that'll open up a spot for the points. And speaking of the points, it looks like Triscaro not going to make the race. Unfortunate for him, but we had 34 cars out here tonight.
Yeah, 34 cars, so a little bit of a lighter field here tonight. Could be any number of reasons for that, but we're going to go ahead and go through the starting grid right here. Freddie Baznez for Nightmare Esports will be starting on the pole. Axel Smith to his outside in second. Chris Blanchard will be third. Jack Long in fourth. Brock Westmoreland in fifth. Richard Elliott sixth. Chase Mistretta in seventh. Brian Hennings in eighth. Nick Sipple in ninth. And Sean Hilkowitz will round out the top 10.
In 11th, you got Tanner Case and Jerome Morris Jr. In 12th, Gordon Spain. 13th, Jonathan Herbert for Hyper Motorsports. In 14th, Heath Jobe. In 15th, Evan Carbo. In 16th, James Wagner. 17th, James Waring. In 18th, McCullough Motorsports. Mark Von Dell in 19th, and Dawson Wise for the Jack Shack rounding out the top 20.
Following him in 21st will be Josh Jambroni, Stephen Miles in 22nd. Josh McCullough will be 24th. I unfortunately loaded in as a driver, so my apologies for that. I am not starting 23rd. I am indeed in the booth. Jack Hignite will be starting 25th. Andrew Zanto 26th. Michael Clay 27th. 28th, Tucker McClendon. Sterling Thice, a new name to the series, in 29th. Ambrose Knable 30th. Dejan Monte 31st. Ryan S. will call him in 32nd. Chris Melton 33rd. And Quinn Davis 34th. I believe that does round out our grid here tonight. Go ahead and pull up the race information right real quick. Xfinity cars, like we said, here at Daytona, 45 laps, a little bit of a shorter race here tonight. 45% the fuel tank, 3 tire sets, no fast repair, fixed setups, and 3 attempts at an overtime should we need them. So, yeah, this is the least amount of cars we've had so far this season, Baker. We've had about 40 every time, and not as many cars out here, and who knows, that could be a good thing, A little bit cleaner racing, potentially.
Yeah, I think cleaner racing, and the Xfinity car has been fun to watch in other series, and the one time that we went to the Xfinity cars here in the PGR Lite Series, it put on an amazing finish with that 3-wide finish, and Joshua McCullough getting the win over Michael Triscaro.
Yeah, it did. That was definitely one of the more thrilling finishes we've had. But I mean, every race so far this season has basically been a thrilling finish. It's been some great racing, great finishes, and I'm sure we're going to have another one here tonight. And as we mentioned, this is the regular season finale. This is the last chance for these guys to lock themselves into the championship. We already already mentioned one of the main kind of, I guess, guys that are missing out of this one is Michael Triscaro. He is in a very desperate point situation. As of now, he is in the championship. The worst thing that could happen to him is a new driver winning. He's pulling hard for Freddie Baznez, Josh McCullough, guys like that to come out here and win this race, hopefully to keep him in the points. But the pace car will roll off right here, leaving it for Freddie Baznez and Axel Smith. We are racing here at Daytona. Coming to complete lap 1 here, it'll still be Freddie Baznez leading the race. There was a massive stack up on that outside line. We saw it look like it involved the 97 of Axel Smith getting a pretty poor restart right there. And that kind of caused that outside line to check way up, and that allowed Brock Westmoreland and Sean Hilkowitz to hop up on the outside.
Yeah, still 2x2 right now. No one really looking out 3 wide. 3 cars off the pace towards the back, starting with Quinn Davis. She missed her start just a little bit, dragged 2 back. You see that top lane starting to roll. It's got Brock Westmoreland on the outside line with Sean Hilkowitz pushing the top line. A lot of names that you've seen up here throughout the season that just haven't got the finishes that they need. But we're looking at the point situation like we talked about. He said, oh, big move on the outside.
Oh, we're wrecking. Chase Mastretta gets hooked in front of the field. Here comes everybody, literally everybody else, piling into it. Josh Jambroni's killed. Mark Vondell involved. Tucker McClendon, Andrew Zanto, Josh McCullough, Chase Mastretta. We got the 12 on his side right here. That would be Quinn Davis rolling that car back over. And unfortunately, 2 laps in, and we've already got the massive one here at Daytona. Let's go back and take a look at what caused this. When we saw Chase Mastretta get turned at the front of the field, it was about 4th in line on the bottom. Let's see what we can see here. Looks like Chase Mastretta will be out of tonight's race, and that is a shame for him. Some of us had some pretty poor luck in this series so far, but we saw this right here, the 124 car getting a little wiggly, and then Jonathan Herbert runs into the back of Richard Elliott in the 0, spins Elliott down into Mastretta and Hennings, turns Chase Mastretta in the 8 up the racetrack, and from there on out, it is calamity. Look at Evan Carlbon trying to miss it, and then Dawson Wise, Josh Jambroni, Mark Vondell spinning right there in the Chiefs machine, Chris Melton with some damage. There's Andrew Zanto with a killed race car, and then somehow the 12 is on his side right there in the tri-oval grass. So, yeah, already a massive crash, barely 2 laps into completing this event, and that is definitely a shame considering how small this field is. So we can get a couple more looks at this real quick, and then we'll get a word with Matthew Baker to see what he believes will be the cause of this yellow.
Yeah, it looks like it was just a big stack up on the outside. No one really could do on the outside that pushed him out of line, but then there was just some really bad arc braking towards the back.
Yeah, we'll get a view of that right here from the starter cam. Just, yeah, guys just getting bulldozed, not checking up for the crash. And sure enough, I mean, just more cases of ARCA braking, and I think anyone who watched last night's Little Dog Big Dog Series race understands my personal stance on ARCA braking, and I don't want to dive all back into that, but I mean, it's just a shame. That's really all you can say. Another look at Mastretta just getting turned. Tanner Kasinger barely getting away right there. Look at Ambrose Knable in the 04, locking the brakes up, doing a good job missing this one. I'd love to find out what happened to the 12 machine of Quinn Davis, because just kind of appeared right there on his side. But unfortunately blinked back in at a unfortunate time, but well, there we go, Baker. I mean, that's detrimental. I mean, that took out a lot of guys right here.
It did, and before I was rudely interrupted about the point situation with the wrecking going on, but like I was saying, Triscaro, he's not here tonight, but also who's not here tonight, who is below the cut line, that is Sean Corbett. He was only 12 points out, so that's good for Triscaro, but the thing is he needs Hennings and Christopher Melton, Jonathan Herbert, all 3 of them to finish outside of the top 10, and that is a tall order for Brian Hennings. He's been running very, very well these past couple of weeks.
That is something to keep an eye on, and I know that we're only 4 laps in right now, but we mentioned the case of if a new winner comes up here. Well, I mean, look up front. We have Sean Hilkowitz leading the race right now. Some of us had awful luck so far, but has been running up front, just gets taken out and crashes. He's leading the race. Then Axel Smith, who was 1 corner away from winning his first ever light race a couple weeks ago. Got guys like Ron Morris, Chris Blanchard, Brock Westmoreland. This is just a whole group of guys right here that could knock everyone else down a spot in the points. So it's just a very fascinating point situation that we have to keep an eye on, watch out for throughout the rest of this race. Let's see if we can get an update on a few of these guys. There's Stephen Miles in the 24 machine. Michael Clay.
Looks like that Brian Hennings was fixing damage all the way up to the pace car catching him. So definitely one of the hitters out here that took a big lick on the right front.
That is true. And we got to look at Brian right here in the 74, and all things considered, The damage doesn't look horrible. You can see the right front fender kind of dented in right there, some scratches on the side. I think it should be okay for the rest of this one. Should we have some more cautions allowing him to fix up that damage just a little bit more? But, I mean, lap 2 in a 45-lap race, yes, it's a short race, but at the end of the day, you have to survive. Like, if you want to finish first you have to finish, right? Like that old phrase to kind of an old adage in racing in general. You have to finish if you want to win. Like, to be crashing on lap 2 is not good for a lot of these guys, but I'm seeing some of these guys, like we were talking about, looks like Andrew Zanto still completing a tow, most likely done for the night. Oh, maybe not. There he goes, Andrew Zanto leaving pit road right here. James Waring with a lot of damage. We mentioned Quinn Davis back here. Chase Mastretta has already left the session. He will be out of tonight's event. Looks like he's the only guy so far that is. But the field's rolling out of turn 4 right here. The pace car will be rolling in right here as well. To take lap 6, we'll be having 40 laps to go. Here in this one, it's up to Hiltz and Bazinez, the leaders of the two lines. We'll see what kind of start Hiltz gets right here. There he goes. He launches very early in the box. Gets a very good start. How about that for the 48? Brock Westmoreland is trying to get up to him, but he doesn't even need him. Hiltz is clear of Bazinez heading into 1.
Bottom side really broken up, just 2x2. Very spread out field here. Not something that we're used to seeing in a super speedway league with all of these guys. But I mean, that wreck took out a bunch of cars. I mean, a ton of cars had damage there. So you're going to see a lot of people probably off the pace here and trying to hope for another caution to get the damage fixed. But now you see the formation on the top. They got 5 strong now, make it 4 with 5 on the bottom, make it 6. With Hiltz getting pushed by Brock Westmoreland. I think this may be Brock's night if he can keep it clean. Not going to give him the commentator's curse, just like I probably did. But back to the point situation. If I'm doing my numbers correctly, we had 33 cars in the field, and that put Stephen Miles with a 33-point gap, and that would go to him. He would be locked in. White Gray is locked in on points, so we're just fighting for that one spot, this one last final spot to get in and get into that championship next week.
That is what is on the line here, but right now we're watching that outside line just fade away. Bazinez not getting the push that he's needing from the Axel Smith in the 97, allowing Hiltz, Westmoreland, and Ron Morris to get clear. Morris is going to take it in front of Freddie Bazinez up on that outside line. Going to get a pretty good push right there by Bazinez. Good connection between those two. Ron Morris, someone that is, I will say he is underrated. You know, he's pretty good in these Xfinity cars, especially if I'm not mistaken. He won a Little Dogs, Big Dogs championship in this car a couple months back. So he's someone to watch out for. Maybe get his first win of the season here. How about Gordon Spain in 6th right there, down there on the bottom? Lots of kind of underdogs up here. You know, Axel Smith, Gordon Spain, Nick Sipple, even though I can't even really call him an underdog. He's now a member of Team PGR, so congratulations to him in that number 75. Tanner Kasinger, always one to watch out for in the number 88 machine. There he is, right there. We know how he races, at least. He's very aggressive. He wants to lead every lap. We've seen it all season, so we got to watch out for him, too. Ron Morris with the edge over Hiltz in turn 3.
Yeah, and Simple, as they come around the lap car here, that is Andrew Santos staying to the outside. But Simple, very, very, very good. Sorry, Simple. I got to work on that. I'm hitting the MN when it's not Simple. But he is very good in the next gen car, and they're picking him up right in time for the PGR 500. They know that he's going to be a weapon. Oh, Rumler Jr. a little bit loose up in front of the field, but now you got Hiltz. He's clear. Brock Westmoreland, he's cooking on temps. Hiltz going to come back up. Oh, they may split him if he doesn't get up there, but he does right in front of Ron Morris Jr. But Ron Morris Jr., like you talked about, he had that...
Contact out back, and we're wrecking in the very back. Looks like might just be one car. I'm trying to see who that is. Looks like James Wagner, Ambrose Knabel sliding back onto the racetrack. The yellow flag will fly for James Wagner and Ambrose Knabel, the 30 and the 04. What appeared to just be a 2-car incident right here. But I'm sure Ambrose sliding back up the racetrack right there drew the yellow flag from iRacing. So let's take a look and see what happened at the moment of caution. Oh, lots of...
Looks like Jack Long into the back of James Wagner.
Yeah, Jack Long in that 124 purple and black Red Bull machine. Hitting James Wagner, they're kind of going through his bumper right there, but that doesn't really cause this incident per se, at least in my opinion. You see, it's going to spin Wagner down across the nose of Jonathan Herbert and spin Ambrose Knebel in the 04 round, and Ambrose will end up back onto the racing surface. Wagner seems to save it right here, so that's good for him. Ambrose as well in this 04 machine. Look at him there. He's going to save it too. Just going to slide back onto the racetrack right here, and the yellow flag will fly from that incident right there with Knebel and Wagner. A couple more quick views of this. See Wagner just get turned from the outside, then kind of turned again. Not much Jonathan Herbert could do, though. Wagner just kind of ended up right in his lap. I think Ambrose is going to be okay right here. Very little, if any, damage on his machine. James Wagner, same could not be said for him. He does have quite a little bit more damage, especially on the rear of his car. Maybe on the sides, too, that left front. But these guys should still be A-okay to continue in the rest of this one.
Yeah, it just looked like another stack up there on the outside line. I don't really think that Jack Long really had anywhere to go, because they were fire out of the pipes, 2 cars in front of him, and he tried to check up, just couldn't check up in time.
Yep, so that is the story with this one. And would he be getting the penalty right there, Baker? If
I'm not going to... I mean, I called the stack up on the last one. Not going to call it again just because of how big that stack up was on the outside. It lost about 4 mile an hour, 3 mile an hour speed pretty quickly. And that's tough for anyone to really check up to.
That is true. So that's good news for Jack Long, who is now sitting in 2nd place in the race right there, on that number 124 machine.
Oh, man, he's got the grace of me, and now he's up front.
Yeah. There we go. So maybe the opposite of a commentator's curse or race control curse, I guess, in this case. But Jack Long now sitting in 2nd place. Chris Blanchard, the leader of the race right here, the number 31. Brock Westmoreland back to 3rd. Freddie Baznez, Ron Morris, Sean Hilkowitz, Axel Smith, Evan Carlbon, Heath Jobe, and Tanner Kasinger, rounding out the top 10 right here. And I think we're going to go ahead and kick off our interviews for the night. Let's see who we can pull in. You know, I know someone I want to talk to, actually. He's sitting in 13th place right now. We were just bragging on him a little bit, being a new member of Team PGR and everything. Let's see if we can talk to Nick Sipple real quick. Nick Sipple, Landon and Baker in the booth. Do you have a copy? Well, congrats to you on being the new member of Team PGR. That is a very good achievement for you, and you've been honestly proving it out there on the racetrack. You've been having very good runs, consistent runs out here. So walk us through your race so far, and honestly just your kind of career in money racing so far, if you can, while we're under this yellow.
I mean, in terms of the race, I'm just trying to slowly make my way to the front without doing anything too stupid, getting caught up in any dumb wrecks. I've missed the pit call twice. I've been in spots for no reason, which I need to fix. In terms of money racing, I'm pretty new to it. I haven't been doing it for very long. But I'm having fun doing it, so I'm trying to do it more often. And if I keep winning a little bit of money, then keep going.
Well, absolutely. That is always the goal. And like we said, you've been doing a great job so far. I'm pretty sure you cashed the other night in the Thursday night PGR race. Of course, there was no broadcast for that, sadly, when few people definitely wanted there to be one, me included. But congrats on that. So what are you thinking for the rest of this race right here? Are you just trying to survive right now? Or are you going to be a little bit of have a little bit of aggression, trying to go up here and lead some laps?
I'm trying to get up there and lead a couple laps, try to put myself in a good position to come to the end.
Well, that sounds good. We got to watch out for this number 75 machine of Nick Sipple. Appreciate you talking to us.
Appreciate it.
There is Nick Sipple. Like we said, we got to keep an eye on him. Someone kind of relatively new to the community, but it's not very often we have guys that kind of just show up and kind of immediately start performing. I'm trying to think of a better way to say that, but he's kind of shown up, and he might have struggled a little bit, but it's an adjustment from normal super speedway racing. He's come in here and done quite a very good job in his short tenured career, I should say, in money racing. So we will watch out for him. Like we said, Jack Long, too, another new name to the community, and he's sitting up here in P2. Got to watch out for him. A couple of new guys out here. Ryan, I'm going to give this a try. Schreckengost. Ryan Schreckengost.
That sounded close. I'm about to go look it up in Google.
Yeah, we're going to see what Google has to say. about this, but he's sitting in P18 right now, so just some of these new names we're going to need to keep an eye on. Also, Sterling Theis up here in the number 15, someone else. But we're going back green right here. Pace car is going to come off to pit road this time, leaving it for Chris Blanchard on the bottom. He's going to get a good push from Brock Westmoreland. Going to get him well clear. That outside not organized at all with Jack Long or Freddie Baznez. Long has the bottom if he wants to take it, but instead Freddie Baznez and that number 18 is going to take it right here and leave Jack Long all alone heading into one.
Yeah, Jack Long, no help. Look what's coming. He's going to drive down to the bottom. It'll leave Evan Carbon, one of the winners from this season, to give a push. Oh, so it's about 3 wide. Oh my goodness, that's the thing about being one of the new guys in the money racing scene. No one trusts you, so they're going to try and hang you out and try and get around you as quick as they can. It's something that you see with a bunch of people. Malik got involved with the money racing community. Same thing happened to him. Same thing happened to Sierra Clampert. Anyone that's new, it doesn't matter what your name is, they're not going to trust you until they know they can race around you. But that's an example right there. Jack Long going from 0 to hero in 1 lap from 2nd place all the way back to about 16th, 18th place.
Yeah, and he's got a little bit of rear end damage for that machine. I mean, he was going to be fine if he can get a chance to repair that. But yeah, Evan Carbon shuffled him straight out of line. Took advantage of that. Looks like gave him a very aggressive push. Long didn't like it. Ended up hitting him up the racetrack a little bit, and then Carbon took over. But didn't really help Evan out either because there wasn't much organization behind him. So now Evan in the 78 is 3rd on the top behind Baznez and Ron Morris. But overall, I guess, you can say it worked out for him. He didn't want to try and stay behind the new guy too much longer, No disrespect to them, of course, but that's just, people got to get used to them, You don't know how they're going to be. You don't know how they're going to respond to certain things. Luckily, it looks like Jack was able to save that car, and that is good news for him. But up front, it's still Blanchard and Baznez dead even at the line for lap 15 right here, and just 2. Ooh, Baznez. Oh, Brock Westmoreland gets hooked. Sean Hilkowitz around as well.
Still going to keep it green, though. Only 2 off.
We're going to keep the green flag. There goes. They both save it, the 48 and the 4. Lots of damage on Sean Hilkowitz. Brock Westmoreland driving it through the grass right here. A little bit of rear end damage on his machine. Again, not too bad, but the yellow flag will not come out.
The thing is Brock Westmoreland just said he blew up. He hit 265 on water, and he said it just grenaded.
So one of those kind of ghost engine blow-ups again right there, because like 265, that's not usually a bad temperature by any means, so I guess the second it turned red...
There's my commentator curse.
Yeah, that is true. There it is. Brock Westmoreland. His night will be over with that, with a blown engine. For the number 4, Brock Westmoreland, a tough break for him with a kind of early engine malfunction, I guess you would say, blowing up when it really shouldn't have. But he will be out of the race. Sean Hilkowitz continues in the race, just kind of way out from the pack here, all by himself, heading into turn 1 now, with a damaged race car as well as the number 48. Evan Carbon's the leader of the race. With the push from Freddie Baznez, they're both clear to the bottom. We'll see if they both take it, and they will. Double clear for the 78 and the 18, leaving Ron Morris and Tanner Kasinger all alone up top, heading out of 4.
And we're going to mention the bonus guy, Danny Barnes, is hitting us with the Nathan Harper bonus. I don't know if you were able to watch that. I think it was a truck race, or maybe it was I think it was a truck race. Yeah, it was the McCullough race in the trucks. Harper had an opportunity to push Logan York in the outside by Kyler Wynn. I mean, it didn't end up mattering because Kyler Wynn got DQ'd from the race anyways. But it's called the Who Screwed Your Teammate the Most award, and it's actually $30. I think it's $30, maybe $40 to the move that one teammate to another. It screws them out of either the money or the points or whatever situation. But the problem is there's not many teammates up here that have a chance to really screw each other over. Freddie Baznez, he's all alone in Nightmare. Evan Carbone, he's all alone here in the Jack Shack. On the top side, you've got Ron Morris Jr. He has no teammates really around him as well.
Oh, Baznez, a little loose right there down on the bottom. He's going to save it. Carbon looked like he went up in front of Ron Morris. I don't know what happened right there, if Ron wanted to split him out or what, but a little bit of a weird situation right there. But yeah, back to the teammate talk. The only set that I'm seeing up here is Heath Jobe and Jonathan Herbert for Hyper Motorsports in the 760 and the 87 down there on the bottom. But lots of weird pushes going on at the front right now. Carl Bond looks like the back end of his car is getting very upset with the pushes given to him by Freddie Baznez. Baznez is just going to hop up in front of Ron Morris. Here comes Chris Blanchard nailing Evan Carl Bond right there. He's hanging onto that thing for his life right now out of 4. Baznez not getting that good run off the top that he wants either. Chris Blanchard not letting up for anybody. He's still getting Evan in the number 78 machine loose right there. A little contact between there. We're wrecking. Gordon Spain gets hooked in the back. Again, the yellow flag does not come out, and it will actually. There it is. Gordon Spain, the number 38 Bass Pro machine, getting spun out of the pack right there. There he is, continuing again. Very minimal damage on his machine. Not entirely sure why the yellow flag flew right there. Probably get some more context from that in just a second, but let's go ahead and take a quick look at what happened. This might have involved, gonna have to say the name correctly again, Ryan Schreckengast, potentially.
Brian Hennings is the one who Gordon Spain comes off the front bumper.
Oh, there's 2 separate incidents right here. Okay. There was something out of the corner of turn 2, and then this is the initial one with Gordon Spain. So let's take a look at Gordon Spain and see if what Baker said is true. I'm sure it is. I trust him. But we gotta make sure and see it for ourselves real quick. There's Spain. Just kind of hanging where he is. This view is not going to do us any favors. There we go. Yeah, Spain just kind of coming down across the nose of Brian Hennings, and the 74 is going to spin Gordon Spain out. A little bit more contact. Brian Hennings, a good save down there at bottom. Gordon Spain, like I said, no real damage. Just going to spin the car around, and luckily the caution comes back out immediately after because of what happened back further up with Ryan Schreckengast right here. Under the yellow flag, Dejan Monte is going to come up and spin out the 25 of Schreckengast under the yellow. Schreckengast locking the brakes up. Looks like he's barely going to miss hitting that inside wall. Good on him for missing that. Well, then he drives into it anyway. But no damage for Schreckengast right here. Not really sure what was going on there. Maybe 2 guys just trying to go for the same spot. Caution flags out. Maybe not paying attention, really. But here's a couple more looks at this. The 25 and the 07, Dejan Monte just kind of comes up and turns Schreckengast right here under the yellow, giving him a good bit of left rear damage. Here you see him locking up those brakes, trying to get it back going, nose into the wall a little bit, but that's not going to cause him any damage. Not entirely sure what was going on right there. We can take a look from the cockpit.
I'm going to go back and watch the last lap before to see if there's any ill will that happened. Ooh. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. But lap 18 coming out of 2. Looks like Dejan Monte gets booted out of line by the 25, and Dejan didn't take too kind to that. Looks like he may have retaliated there under caution. Maybe he looked like he was trying to go up there and just give him a little tap, but the thing is oh yeah, 25 just comes back down across as Dejan's coming up to give him a little kiss.
So, an intentional wreck, I guess. We've got beef here in the PGR Lite Series. Definitely nothing new to money racing. It's some beef, but not someone I expected it out of. Not really Dejan Monte. Someone seems really kind of chilled out, kind of a cool character. He is someone new to the community, but they're just coming up, tapping him, and ends up spinning out Schreckengast. The 25, a little bit of beef here. So, gonna have to keep an eye on this and see if it develops any further. I'm not sure if Race Control will take any action on Dejan Monte for what just occurred here, but as of now, he is still in the event. Just sitting in pit road right here. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll take a look up front and see what's going on here. Freddie Baznez, Evan Carl Bond, Heath Jobe, Ron Morris, Chris Blanchard, the top 5, followed by Tanner Casinger, Richard Elliott, Nick Sipple, Brian Hennings, and James Wagner. The top 10. We're going to go and see if we can grab up another interview real quick. Let's see if we can get one with Heath Jobe, having a good solid run up here in P3. Heath Jobe, Landon, and Baker in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Well, you've been having a good run, honestly, recently. You found yourself kind of up front, a lot more, leading some laps out here in the Lite Series, and you're sitting third right now. Just had some bad luck come your way. So walk us through your race so far and what your thoughts are going for the rest of this race.
You know, honestly, I've just kind of been hanging back, not really trying to push the issue. I kind of feel like that there's enough of the guys that are pushing the issue that it's going to cause some issues that I don't want to be in. So feel like I'm staying back just far enough that I can react to situations and still keeping myself up there in the hunt if necessary. Yeah, I'm kind of in a must-win situation here. Points aren't really a factor for me as far down as I am due to some really super bad luck. But keep your head up and keep moving forward.
Well, absolutely. Like I said, must-win situation right here for Heath Jobe, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on you. So you're still hanging back. I assume you're probably just going to keep trying to hang back until it really matters. And do you think you can really survive through the rest of this race? Because, I mean, we can't lie. There's been some brutal races so far of guys, almost the whole field getting caught up. We really hope that you can stay out here, keep surviving. We appreciate you talking to us. We'll keep an eye on you.
Perfect, man. I appreciate it. I really thought I could survive, and then you pulled me in the booth. Now I pretty much think I'm screwed. But
I sincerely hope not.
did I say that out loud? Yeah, I meant to. But anyway, yeah, no. We'll see what happens, man. Just gonna, try to avoid, and hopefully luck keeps going my direction.
Well, as if the commentator's curse with me especially hasn't happened enough. If it happens to you, I think I might just have to hang up the headset because it's just a straight-up curse on everybody.
Right.
We sincerely hope it doesn't happen to you, but like we said, thanks
Right.
for talking to us.
Well, if it does ahead of time, kiss my ass.
Yes.
No, I'm cool.
Good words from
Thanks,
Heath
man.
Jobe. I would deserve it. That's fine. Thanks
Appreciate
again.
you guys.
Yes, sir. Heath Jobe, so hopefully, I really hope we didn't curse him. But, maybe we just spoke about it enough, it might have got rid of the curse. Who knows? We'll just think about it that way. For the number 760 of Heath Jobe, the pace car rolls off to the pits this time. We'll be taking 23 laps to go, already halfway through the race. Freddie Basden has a good launch up on the outside, but nobody else launched at all. He's going to be well clear. Ooh, he thought about dropping in front of Carl Pott. He thought better of it. He knew what happened to Stephen Miles a couple weeks ago in the Lite Series, changing lanes before he was supposed to, and you could see him hesitate and hop back up, and then finally dart down in front of Carl Pott in the 78, heading into 2.
Outside really rolling that big jump on the outside to clear himself down. Oh, outside 3 wide. Tanner Kasinger goes up. Simple's going to get to the back bumper. Ron Morris give him a big shove. Going to create a big gap there in the middle, though. Kasinger going to try and look for it. Won't get it. Simple looking to go down to the bottom, but just really disorganized. Man, this is some of the strangest racing that I've seen in any of our Lite Series races. The single file, spread out racing. I mean, I guess it's a product of no fast repair, and the field dying on lap 2, and then therefore a couple other crashes afterwards. But Simple getting to the back bumper of Ron Morris Jr., giving a great shove on that outside line. Evan Carbon doesn't think about it, thinks about it twice, stays to the inside. Now we're back 2 by 2.
Yeah, at the front, Ron Morris leading the charge with a push from Nick Sipple and Brian Hennings, a pair of PGR teammates right there. Brian Hennings working his way back to the top 10 after getting involved in the early crash and then getting a little contact on this last one with Gordon Spain. But that's the thing, Beggar. There's lots of cars still in this race. I mean, every time they head into turn 3, we see it all the way down the backstretch. Still tons of guys out here. The fact is they just have a lot of damage. And they need more and more cautions, more and more opportunities to get all that fixed for them if they want to be able to compete. And who knows, we might have them, considering what I'm seeing up front right now. A little bit of shuffling around, jostling from Ron Morris with the pushes from Sipple in the 75. Not really cooperating right now, but so far they're kind of keeping it calm. We saw Kasinger try to take it 3 wide, and nobody was home for him, so he's going to drop back down to about 6th or 7th on the bottom lane. Here's someone I want to give a shout-out to real quick. Sorry to interrupt. How about Jack Hignite? Someone that we haven't seen in money racing in quite a long time. Jack Hignite has made his return. He wants to race right here in the PGR Lite Series. There he is in the number 26, and he's having a solid run so far in 11th, just outside the top 10. Just another name to keep an eye on here. Lots of new names, lots of old names coming back, and then your usual suspects. Evan Carlbon, last week's winner, he's looking to go back-to-back here. We'll see if he can do it with 20 laps to go.
Looking at the updated point situation, you got Hennings in 6th. He would be the first car in on points. Second would be Jonathan Herbert. He's sitting around P11. And then you look back, Mark Vondel, he's kind of off the pace with the destroyed race car. He's going to hope for another caution. But all those cautions, those last 2 cautions, were able to get Brian Hennings that damage repaired that he needed.
Yeah, that is true, and that's great news for Brian Hennings at 74. Like I said, you need all those cautions to get that damage fixed, and it's worked out for him back here in the top 10. It's kind of fallen back a little bit. They both, it was Morris, Sipple, and Hennings leading the outside, but now Basnez and Carlbon all move to the top, and that allows Heath Jobe to take the lead of the race. Man, we just spoke to with a great push from Chris Blanchard in the 31 on the bottom. Blanchard kind of been hanging up here in the lead, about top 3, top 5 of the whole race so far. As a pusher, it seems like more than anything, giving good pushes to whoever's in front of him. But here comes the run on the outside with Carl Bond. Going to get the nose over Jobe heading into 1.
Christopher Melton, another one looking for the points in situation if he could get up towards the top 10. He's back in 19th right now, hanging around in the back of this lead draft. Jim Brony, he had a lot of damage on that left front, but he got it fixed up, got that toe repaired. 2 clear down to the bottom. That's Freddie Bazinez and Evan Carbone. Ron Morris Jr., he's been wheeling and dealing this car. It's been loose as hell, as he would say whenever he loses it on his own. I've seen him do it a couple times in the Xfinity car, but Simple giving a great push on the outside. Hennings, you can tell that damage hurting him a little bit. Carbone out of shape, but that top side's starting to surge. James Wagner trying to get to the back bumper, and Jack Hignite trying to ignite that outside line and get Ron Morris Jr. clear.
That was a great pun right there. Hignite trying to ignite that outside. I like that a lot. We'll see if he can do that. But there's still Morris and Carl Bond up top. We took a look at Josh Giambroni after Baker mentioned him. His car is destroyed, and he's still kind of hanging in this lead draft. He's got Tucker McClendon, his former teammate, in front of him. They're starting to lose it a little bit. That's kind of where the group of damaged vehicles starts, right there with McClendon and everything. Look at Ron Morris getting so loose, but he's finally going to clear down in front of Carl Bond, leaving none other than Nick Sipple in the 75 to be leading that outside line with his new PGR teammate Brian Hennings behind him. James Wagner involved in a couple instances as well tonight. He's found his way in the top 10. He's about to break into the top 5 here. 17 laps to go. Or 18 laps to go, I should say. Nope, there it is. 17 laps to go this time by. So this thing's running out of time really quick for a lot of these guys, especially those in a must-win situation.
Yeah, must-win situation is the entire field, minus 5 cars, really. I'm thinking win and I'm in. You know, I'm not thinking, oh, I could get 10th or better, and I know I'm in on points, and I know that may be what Henning's thinking. But right now, watching the way he's pushing Simple, his new teammate, and I said Simple again, Simple on the outside, he's not thinking that he wants to get that top 10, top 5. He wants to get in, get that win to make sure he's secured in and not have to really think about the doubts of it. But, you know, Simple and Henning's new teammates, and I'm thinking about that teammate bonus, or lack thereof, helping your teammate bonus. Who's gonna go for it? Who's gonna try and hang out their teammate just for a measly $30? I mean, measly, that's two times your entry back. So we'll see if anyone tries it, but we're gonna have to really out of shape it towards the back, but they were able to save it. Oh goodness gracious, they are all over the place. You can tell the tires are starting to get hot. Even though it's nighttime, it still starts to cook on the outside line.
Yeah, it does. Let's take a quick look at the weather now that Baker mentioned it. The track temp's only 70 degrees, so in theory, the tire wear shouldn't be that bad, but these Xfinity cars, they usually have a way of just kind of tearing up the tires in a way. You kind of feel it on entry into corners and everything. The outside line is so just all over the place. Chris Blanchard's coming in a pit. Off strategy.
He had stayed out a couple of those runs to stay up front, hoping for another caution to where he can get everyone go to the back. Back down pit road, Evan Carbone, he's going to clear down. We see Jack Long taking a step out 3 wide towards the back. That's about 8 rows deep, trying to get it woed up, but no one really trying to get up on the outside, get it rolling, just waiting, trying to bide their time to the end of this race. And it's ticking down. You got about 15 laps till this race is over.
15 to go, and that damaged pack of cars I was talking about earlier, McClendon and Giambroni, well, they're back up into the pack. Now, whether they can work their way through it, that's another question. Time will only tell. And who knows, if we start having a big one up here, we might have it with Ron Morris, who is not responding to the pushes from Nick Sipple well by any means. Every time Sipple connects to his bumper, it seems to get him loose, leaving that bottom completely open for Evan Carbone and Freddie Bazinez. Carbone's going to hop back up in front of Ron Morris heading into 1, leaving it for Bazinez and Jobe, who's now worked his way back to the top 3, top 4 of this race, trying to push Bazinez as much as he can. Ron Morris not connected to Evan Carbone whatsoever. He's trying to get that connection back. Still just 2 by 2 all the way throughout the field here.
Yeah, Ron Morris just not looking very stable there on that top line, second in line. It just seems that whenever he has a car tucked up on his back bumper, a big stack up on the inside there. That's Axel Smith. They're going to go out 3 wide. Tucker McClendon going to be stuck 3 wide. They get through it okay. But you can just see it right now. You see it. As soon as Simple gets close to Ron Morris's bumper, as they're pushing Carbone, it just gets him all out of shape.
Yeah, just not good news for Ron Morris. I don't know if there's some connection things going on for him at all, but he's still hanging tough up here in the top 5. He's currently in 4th place right now, and he does keep continuing to, I guess, help out and cycling the lanes, pushing Carl Bond back clear, and then he'll get pushed clear by Sipple. He'll hop back up. That is still working for him. Probably not as ideal as he wishes it would be right now, but so far it is, and it's just the Carl Bond and Bazinez show up front. Oh, contact in the back. Sipple gets shuffled out of line a little bit. They save it. Good save by the 75 and Nick Sipple. Some more shuffling going around in the back. 5 car trying to go around. Who was that? I believe that was Jack Long back there. Trying to go around him. Bazinez pushed well clear by Heath Jobe, and he's going to hop up in front of Carl Bond. Heath Jobe going to be the leader of the race, heading to 12 laps to go.
As they're coming up on the pack of 3 lap cars here, they're going to stay up to the high side. That is Dawson West, Andrew Santo, and Mark Vondell. Going to go down to a lap down here as they come through.
Heath Jobe still with that nose up in front of the 5 car, still trying to hop up there. Like, there's that group of 3 cars right there, lap cars up there. Vondell, Zanto, Dawson Wise all still hanging in there, but their races are basically over. I hate to say it, just the amount of damage. You can see how slow that group of cars is going. Bazinez back down to the bottom in front of Jobe. That outside line is just not really cooperating with anyone out there right now. It seems like everyone up there, Carl Bond, Morris, Sipple, Hennings, every time they get linked up, it just starts shuffling them around, jostling them around, maybe pushing a little too much or just some bad connection. Who knows? Carl Bond's going to come home right here for 11 laps to go, lead this lap as well. Oh, we're wrecking in the back, it looks like. They're going to not save it. There goes James Wagner. Get a big hit from Tucker McClendon. Axel Smith gets clipped. Jonathan Herbert. Oh, big hit. The 25s. Who was it? Schreckenkost all barrel rolling down the front stretch. Still flipping. Look at him go. Going to finally end up on all 4 wheels, and it looks like try and drive away. Still has an engine under that thing, it appears. But barrel rolling like that, and considering all the damage he has, I think his night's going to be done. He's going to stop and tow it right here, I believe. So we saw, just to the right side of our screen in the live shot, we saw someone get turned down to the apron. I'm not sure who this was. I can't tell if it was Josh McCullough, I want to say, or James Wagner. Let's see what we are able to check out here. Let's take it up to Josh McCullough and move this all the way out. See, just what went wrong here? Oh, a bit of contact between Jack Hignite and the number 5 machine of Sterling Theis. That is going to spin Hignite the 26 down into Josh McCullough. Josh McCullough doing everything he can to save it, but then there's just the checkup that's caused by it. Chris Melton getting into his own teammate, so I think we might have found the Nathan Harper Award from Danny Barnes. Chris Melton getting into the back of James Wagner, and he's going to get away okay, but it's just going to cause a massive wreck behind. There's Jonathan Herbert, going to get T-boned by Chris Melton. Axel Smith spinning on the bottom. And then the 25, barrel rolling down there. Look at Zanto doing his best to miss that crash. Just debris flying everywhere off that 25. He was still flipping. It's like a 10-second flip. We got to take a look and see.
Like Steven Miles was trying to avoid, came down to the inside, and then 25 just slid into his lap.
Yeah, Schreckengoss right here just barely got clipped, and then Miles T-boning him, nowhere to go, just sends him barrel rolling over and over. Still going. Everyone else starts driving away from it, but not the 25 machine, unfortunately. Let's take a look and see Steven Miles' perspective from this. The one that ended up T-boning the 25. So the wreck starts in front. Miles still just hanging back here. Hard on the brakes, and the 25 just kind of landing in his lap. He tried to miss him right there. You saw it, and it just nailed him. There's a perspective from Schreckengost in this one. Let's take this all the way back and see what he saw. Wreck starts in front, and he thinks he's clear of it. Then he just gets clipped out of the blue. And now he's just spinning, sliding, everything's fine, and then gets nailed by Steven Miles.
I think we may have our nomination for the Nathan Harper Award right now. Christopher Melton, late on the brakes, gets into Wagner, and I mean, Wagner just wallops the wall.
Yeah, that was this for this crash here, Baker. I'm assuming that we're talking about? I would assume that's what he's talking about. We made mention of it earlier, but we saw it. This is going to be, let's pull it up to James Wagner in that 30 machine. You see, the wreck starts there, and then Melton ends up hitting him when Wagner's on the brakes, and sure enough, I mean, that is our early candidate for the Nathan Harper Award presented by Danny Barnes. James Wagner's race might be done. I mean, look at that right front wheel. It's not going anywhere. Neither of them are. Now they're going to go back going some suspension damage to the 30 of James Wagner. So yeah, wild crash right here. Got a little bit of barrel rolling going on. Chris Blanchard's going to be the leader of the race still, with Freddie Baznez, Evan Carbon. Tanner Kasinger's made his way into the top 5 in 4th position. Ron Morris 5th, Nick Sipple 6th, Richard Elliott 7th, Heath Jobe in 8th, Brian Hennings in 9th, and Michael Clay rounding out the top 10 of that number 33 machine. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab another interview real quick. See what we can find down here. Let's see if we can get one with Ron Morris. Currently sitting in the 5th position. Ron Morris, Landon and Baker to the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey, man. So, yeah, I got a copy.
You've been having a good race so far, albeit sometimes your cars looked a little bit unstable, kind of receiving pushes, and I'm not sure if that's a connection issue or anything of that nature. Maybe you could fill us in on that, but so far so good for you. You've had a good run. You're sitting in the top 5, so what are your thoughts to round this one off?
Oh, man, stay clean, stay out of trouble. Just hope to be there at the end, because, you know, anything can happen there at the end. Yeah, I think, man, I've went to fiber internet, and I've had issues with it since. A little bit disappointed with that, but I think it's a connection type thing. I know I could push Freddie pretty good, but whenever I try to push Evan, looks like he gets a little sideways. So it's got to be some kind of connection issue, because I'm square on him when I'm pushing him. So anyway, but yeah, I just want to stay clean, stay here, have a chance at the end. I got to get a win because I'm not doing so great in points. So only way I get in is get a win. So that's what I'm going for.
Well, yes, sir. We're going to be watching out that number 76 machine, that Scott Bloomquist tribute paint. Beautiful as always. Do you think you can do it? Do you think you can go up here and win the race?
Hey, there's a chance.
Just so long as there's a chance, right? Well, we're definitely going to be watching you out there. We appreciate you talking to us.
I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir. That is Ron Morris. The number 76 machine going to be 3rd on the bottom right here. Not a very ideal position, but the way that these lines have been kind of shape-shifting kind of differently than we normally see them in a PGR race or anything like that. Who knows? Ron Morris could end up bringing this one home and locking himself into the championship. But we're going to be taking 7 laps to go here with Freddie Baznez and Chris Blanchard, the leaders of the race, followed by Carl Bon and Kasinger going to be the lead pushers. Pace car is going to roll in right here. There it goes. 7 laps to go. They're coming into the box right here. Here goes Blanchard in 31. He's going to wait pretty late in the box, and he's going to launch, causing a stack up on that outside. Heath Jobe getting in the back of Sipple, launching Jobe a little bit further back right there. Not a good sign for that outside. Jobe needs to get that push from Michael Clay to push him back up to the 75 of Sipple. But heading into one's Blanchard with a nose over Baznez.
Man, you know what's crazy is we talked about Blanchard pitting early, and he went off cycle, but it worked out for him, able to stay out, and he's on the field number. He is good, getting the push from Evan Carbon on the bottom, and then you got Freddie Baznez getting a push from Kasinger. Kasinger been oh so close in the beginning parts and middle parts of the race. It just seems to fall back towards the end of the race, but now he's up here, coming to 6 to go. Oh, no, Evan
what's
Carbon
going on?
Out of shape. He saves it. That was a really weird wreck. A great save by Carbon for sure. Kasinger, he's going to switch lanes back to the top side, leave out Chris Blanchard, and that top side going to roll. Blanchard going to get buried.
Yeah, he's going to get buried. Nick Sipple tried to take Tanner Kasinger 3. It ends up not mattering, but Heath Jobe being a little aggressive. You're going to let Brian Hennings back in the number 74. Evan Carbon with a big moment right there, but Baznez still holding the lead with the push from Kasinger, leaving Sipple and Hennings, those PGR teammates, still on the outside. Baznez still with that nose ahead. Sipple getting a great push and a great run off of turn 2, but they need to kind of get down on that door, side draft that bottom line. Right now it's not really happening, but that push might be good enough. Nick Sipple is the leader of the race right here heading into 3.
Sipple leading the top side, getting pushed from his teammate Brian Hennings. Heath Jobe doing a great job there, staying tucked up 3rd in line, but that bottom surges through the middle of the corner. Jack Long, big move on the outside.
Michael Clay turns Evan Carbon, and here we go again. Massive crash. Look at everyone piling in. Gordon Spain, Jack Hignite, Sean Hilkowitz, Axel Smith, Dejan Monte, Heath Jobe. Gordon Spain killed in the 38 machine. Evan Carlbon getting straight up turned right there. Coming to the 5 to go mark.
Now, if you're Brian Hennings, yes, you are in on points as of now when you're in that top 4. But guess what? You've got someone that you're pushing on the outside that is your teammate. Well, not anymore. It'll be Kissinger pushing on that. He'll be second with his teammate Sipple on the bottom. That's good for Brian Hennings, but he'd have to push someone to the win, and I don't think he would do it. If I'm him, I would just really let off and let Freddie get the win at the end if I know I'm going to get in on points.
Yeah, that would probably be a wise move for Brian, but looking back at this wreck here, we saw Heath Jobe kind of move up the track. Michael Clay followed him there. Looks like he might have just got loose off the corner, just misjudged it entirely. He's going to come down and destroy Evan Carlbon, spin him into Heath Jobe, and then let the ARCA braking commence because we had a whole lot of it right here. There's Jack Long in the 124 getting involved. Big hits for him. See Mark Von Dell back here. He was okay. There's Gordon Spain. Look at him. And then everyone else just spinning. Dejan Monte with a little bit of right front damage right there. How about Sterling Theis right there in the 5 going to be able to get through this crash. Gordon Spain just a pinball right here. There's Josh McCullough down there in the 11 machine getting around it. So just an odd look right there. 33 machine. Michael Clay just kind of came down and completely took out Evan Carlbon. Let's back this up a little bit more so we can get a little bit more context on it. In real speed, there he is just turning down. Oh, it's netcode. Looks like a lot of netcode, actually, between the 78 and the 33. Evan Carlbon taking some big hits. There's Heath Jobe, a big hit to the outside. Look at Axel Smith wheeling and dealing until he couldn't anymore. Sean Hilkowitz getting into him, going to spin him out. Hilkowitz going to get away relatively okay. So is Axel Smith in the 97. So, yeah, about our, second or third big one we've had here on the night. Get a couple more angles of this very quickly. I think this might be a cool. Let's look at see what the spectators here at the virtual Daytona International Speedway saw in this one. Pretty cool camera angle, just everyone getting wrecked, spinning out all into the tri-oval. So there we go. What's your perspective on this, Baker?
Yeah, Hilkowitz is on the back bumper of the 33, but he's off on exit, and the 33 has plenty of time gathered up. But it just looks like Clay comes down into Carbon, and the chaos ensues behind that.
Yeah, we're going on board here with Evan Carlbon for the Jack Shack. Just gets blindsided, hooked out of the blue, spinning out, still getting hit. He sees all the chaos up there in front of him. Still got an engine under him, albeit probably not a very good one. No smoke coming out of it. So maybe his engine isn't completely killed, it's just cosmetic, which I would highly doubt considering the hit that he just took right there. But either way, up front it's Baznez and Sipple. A very interesting dynamic we have here, taking the 1 to go, where it's going to be 2 laps to go when they restart.
I mean, this is Brian Hennings is going to show his character here. He could push Sipple to the win, knock himself out, not go to the championship. Or he can go 3 wide and go for it. Ron Morris Jr. is going to go wherever Brian Hennings goes and try and make sure that he secures his spot. But this is going to be a crazy restart.
Lots of strategies that we don't normally have to talk about in money racing that we have to keep an eye on right here between the 74 and the 75. They are teammates, yes. So what is Brian going to do? Is he going to help his teammate to a win, his first ever win in money racing? Or is he going to look out for himself and make sure that he's actually in on points? We're going to find out here with 2 laps to go. Baker, you're going to have to tell me if this is our first attempt at overtime or not. I believe it is not. I think it's a natural green-white checkered.
It's going to be a natural green-white checkered.
Okay.
Here.
So natural green-white checkered. So if we need them, we'll still have 3 more restarts maximum, should we need them. But, I mean, look at the field right here. There's, like, nobody left out here on the racetrack. At least that's currently behind the pace car. Just, I don't know, about 15 guys maybe. Take it back to Hilkowitz. He's in 12th right now, 13th place. There's Axel Smith. All these guys catching back up, trying to fix all their damage they can. Look at Steven Miles with a destroyed race car in the number 24 down there. So I don't know. We got some guys like, for example, Axel Smith here, who's got a pretty clean race car, but going to be coming from the back. We'll see what Axel can do in the 97. There's Chris Melton. Got a little bit of damage on his machine. Look at Jonathan Herbert in the 87, looking pretty clean.
Hey, Heath Jobe says thank you for the curse.
Well, I apologize to Heath very much for the curse. It's, like I said, I guess I have to hang him up now because I just curse everyone I ever bring in to talk to during the race. But the pace car is off for Freddie Basnez and Nick Sipple. What will Brian Hennings do? He's shoving through him. Freddie Basnez an early jump in the restart zone. Tanner Kasinger not at all connected with him, so it might be a drag race between Basnez and Sipple heading into one.
Big stack out towards the back, but everyone else able to get through it. A couple people need some black clears from some slower cars. But Sipple, he gets a little bit of momentum stalled. Freddie Basnez getting a push on the big stack up on the outside. Sipple all out of shape. But Hennings going to line up, give that big push. Ron Morris Jr.'s got to get tucked up. But this bottom line looking really, really good here as they come into turn 3.
Basnez still with the nose out ahead. Sipple kind of reining him back in. No Josh McCullough. We see move up to that outside line behind Richard Elliott, Ron Morris. Undoubtedly going to go wherever Ron and Elliott end up going right here. Josh McCullough's already locked in, so we'll see what he has to say about this dynamic up front. But right now, Basnez getting that push from Kasinger. Coming to the white flag here. Working out so far so good for Freddie Basnez. White flag is out as they come out of the tribal heading into turn number 1.
As they come up on a lap car, Michael Clay, the outside. Big push from Brian Hennings. Gets Sipple a little bit out of shape. But you see Kasinger, he's going to get Freddie clear. The temps are going to run out on the bottom. He's got to come up the block. Will Sipple go out 3 wide? They come up on a lap.
Hennings does. Hennings is going to split out his teammate.
He
Basnez blocks the third lane. Sipple hung high and dry in the middle, but here comes some contact maybe.
It's up the door for Kasinger.
Tanner Kasinger. And here comes Chris Blanchard. He might turn him. He's not. Brian Hennings gets wrecked in the back. Kasinger tries to block. Here comes Basnez. He blocks Blanchard. Basnez going to try and lead the race. He turns him. Freddie Basnez, the winner, 3-time winner of the PGR Lite Series Season 1, followed by Nick Sipple. Tanner Kasinger, heartbreak, gets turned at the line by Chris Blanchard. He will end up 3rd, Blanchard 4th. Joshua McCullough somehow finds a way to 5th. And Sterling Theis, his first ever money start, finds a way to P6. What a wild finish right here.
Oh my goodness. I'm looking at the points right now. I cannot believe what I'm looking at. I think Michael Toscaro is in.
Michael Toscaro, who didn't even start tonight's race.
Oh my goodness.
Might be in the finish, and we saw that was probably because Brian Hennings getting wrecked right here. Let's go back and just take a look at this carnage that happened out of turn 4. We saw this initial crash here revolving around Brian Hennings. So here he is. Let's take this up top and see. So Sipple in the middle. He's doing all good right here. Nothing really going wrong. Josh McCullough kind of riding high up the racetrack. Going to be a little netcode between him and Sterling Theis is going to get Brian Hennings put into the wall. Same for Ron Morris. Same for Richard Elliott. Elliott's going to come back down and going to be okay. But then we look up front. There's Kasinger trying to block Basnez. That wasn't there. He comes down to block Blanchard. There's Ambrose Knabel involved in this. How about that run for Ambrose? Gets shoved under the yellow line right there. Kasinger was somewhat clear, but then he comes back up the track, and then Chris Blanchard just turns him right here to the line. And Freddie Basnez, 3 wins in 7 races of the Lite Series for Freddie Basnez. What a tear he's been on. And this time it hasn't been in the next-gen cars. It's a new car for him. And then the wreck just continues after the race. Kasinger getting spun. I'm sure he's not going to be best pleased with that. We will speak to him as the 3rd-place finisher tonight. But what a wild finish that we have had here. Freddie Basnez appears doing his burnouts right now. There he is, doing that standing burnout. Josh McCullough right next to him, celebrating with him. So because of that, we believe that Michael Triscaro is in and Brian Hennings would be out. Nick Sipple 1 spot short of advancing and locking himself in. We're going to have to maybe stick around for a little bit and make sure we get all these points sorted out. But congrats to Freddie Bazinez, tonight's winner for Nightmare Esports, that number 18 machine. His 3rd win on the season. Let's go ahead and pull up these results of the race. Freddie Bazinez, your winner here tonight. Nick Sipple, great run for him in 2nd. Chris Blanchard, 3rd. Tanner Kasinger in 4th. Joshua McCullough will finish 5th. Sterling Thice in 6th. Ambrose Knable in 7th. Ron Morris Jr. 8th. Richard Elliott 9th. And Josh Jambroni will come back with a top 10 finish in 10th here tonight. Followed by that, we got Sean Hilkowitz in 11th, Axel Smith 12th, Brian Hennings 13th, Tucker McClendon 14th, Mark Vondell in 15th, Chris Melton 16th, Dejan Monte 17th, Evan Carlbon, a promising run for him, turned sour very quickly, ends up in 18th position, I should say. 19th place here tonight will be Andrew Zanto, Jonathan Herbert 20th, Jack Hignite 21st, Michael Clay 22nd, Gordon Spain, 23rd, Heath Jobe, 24th, Stephen Miles, 25th, Jack Long, 26th, Dawson Wise, 27th, James Waring, 28th, 29th will be James Wagner, Ryan Schreckengast 30th, Brock Westmoreland, 31st, Chase Mastretta, 32nd, and Quinn Davis rounds out the field of 33 cars in 33rd position here tonight. So, stick around. We're going to grab your top 3 for interviews. I'm sure they're going to be quite interesting ones. Can't wait to listen to them. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the PGR Lite Series race number 7 post-race show. We have got your top 3 in for interviews. We're going to start tonight's interviews with Tanner Kasinger, who will be your 3rd place finisher here tonight. Tanner Kasinger, Landon and Baker in the booth. You have a copy.
I have a copy. You got me?
Yes, sir. Well, you had a chance, seemingly coming out of nowhere, to have a shot at winning this race here, and you got kind of turned right there by the 31 machine coming to the line. So I know you're disappointed. You wanted to lock yourself into the championship race, but walk us through your thoughts right here, getting a solid 3rd place finish.
I mean, I don't really have any thoughts, man. I've raced enough of these to know how the end of this goes, and I don't ever have anybody in the field helping me, so I was fully expecting to get turned coming to the line there.
Well, you did end up getting turned, but you come away with a solid P3 finish here tonight. So walk us through your race. You know, we see you making all these kind of crazy moves, trying to always get up front, lead every lap you can. You kind of seemed a little bit more reserved tonight. You were sitting back and you waited for your time. Do you think that worked out for you here, or did you want to try and be a little bit more aggressive early on?
It seemed like to me the field was a lot tamer toward the end. I always try to play off everybody else. And my thought process on getting aggressive early is if I can get up front and control the race, I have less of a chance of getting caught up in something. It doesn't work out every week, but that's my thought process.
Well, that is definitely a solid one to have. Well, you've come home P3 tonight. Go ahead and give out your thanks and your shout-outs.
Yeah, shout out to all my friends and family that are always watching. I'm about to go hop in my Counter-Strike Discord. I know the boys over there are watching me. The bigger races at PGR, I'd always have like cookouts, invite my mom, my grandpa, my sister. It's like a whole family thing. So shout out to everybody who's ever watched me. And everybody up in the broadcast booth. I mean, that's one of the big reasons I do this. It's so cool getting to run and then seeing yourself afterward, you know. So, big thanks PGR and you guys.
Well, there we go. Kind words from Tanner Kasinger. Congrats again.
Thank you, man.
Finishes P3 here tonight. Next, we will bring up Nick Sipple, your second place finisher here tonight. Matthew Baker stands by with him.
Hey, simple. It's Landon and Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, but
Well, you're about the only car that we talked to that didn't get the commentator's curse or the race control curse. And just talk to me through that last restart, what you were thinking. As soon as Hennings left you, what did you think you were going to do there in the middle?
well, I knew I had my teammate behind me on the start, so I figured we were gonna get an okay start and be able to do something. But I told him do whatever you need to do. If the guy behind you has a run, take it, whatever. He took it, and I don't know how it worked out for me, just how I got a run, and I don't even know. But yeah, it just all worked out. I wrecked to the line, and I got second. So yeah.
Well, it was a great finish for you. You ran well all race. You've been doing well in this series. Just had some unfortunate luck. Almost got the win to get yourself locked in, but short of that. But hope to see you out next week. Who'd you like to thank or shout out?
Thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank Michael Triscaro put it on. That everyone at PGR that puts on Team PGR. Teammates helped me in here. Brian Hennings and Brock Westmoreland. Other than that, that's it. Thank you guys.
All right, well, thank you for talking to us. Hope to see you next week for the championship and the start of the PGR 500.
Yep, for sure. Thank you guys.
That was Nick Sipple, our second place finisher here tonight. Now we will pull up Freddie Bazinez, old three-time here in the PGR Lite Series. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Your third PGR win out of 7 races. That's a pretty good win percentage to have in any sort of league. So walk us through your race and your thoughts.
Yeah, that race, I was up front all of it. Me and Evan, after like the lap 1 crash, we had our teammates gone, so we were working with each other. And we were dominating the race from there. He got turned later on, and it was just me, and that finish, I thought I had it lost for sure. Once I jumped up, and Brian split Nick Sipple. Was not expecting that to happen, then I just got a huge run. And I got to the line first.
You got to the line first, like we said, the third time this season. That is pretty impressive. But like you said, you were dominating this race, really. You and Carl Bond, a couple other guys, were leading all of this, but you were one of the few that actually managed to get away from the other guys getting wrecked and pull it out in the end. Go ahead and give out your thanks and your shout-outs.
So yeah, first thanks gotta go to Evan. He also helped me out all race. He also made like all of my new schemes for me being a nightmare. So thanks to him. Thanks to my nightmare teammates this race. I was running with Jabroni. I was running with Chase and Tucker. So thanks to them, even though I got wrecked on lap 1. And yeah, thanks to RC. Thanks to you guys in the booth. Thanks to everybody that puts on the show.
Yes, sir. Well, that is Freddie Bazinez. Thanks for talking to us. Congrats again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
3-time winner in the Lite Series. I know I keep saying that, but that is very impressive, Baker. So, do we have a final confirmation on the point standings?
Yeah, so I'm about to quit out right now. But before I do that, we can discuss who we think the Nathan Harper bonus should go to. I'm leaning towards Christopher Melton for wrecking someone out of it, but Brian Hennings, I'd say that he maybe screwed Sipple out of the cash out of getting the win, but I mean he's still gotten a cash spot. He was gonna be lined out behind Sipple unless all that stuff started to come to fruition out of turn 4 with the wreck with the 5 and the 11. Got Brian Hennings all out of shape there on the top side, but I'm thinking it's gonna go towards Melton. What are your thoughts?
I would have to agree. I would think that wrecking your teammate would be a little bit worse than what happened with Hennings right there. So I think we're probably going to go ahead and hand out that award, the Nathan Harper Award, tribute for last night's events in the Little Dogs Big Dogs series, I guess to Christopher Melton. Would that be the case? It would go to him. Or James White, I'm not sure. Maybe they can chop it up. Who knows?
Yeah, we go to Christopher Melton. they could chop it up, and that's their entry fee back for both of them. So I think Christopher Melton, you're gonna win that. But if you want to take a short break, we can get these points locked down, and we can come back, and I can give official word on it.
Sounds good. We will keep this locked on to Freddie Baznez as he did his burnouts. We will be right back with a final confirmation here on the point standings. Stick with us. Welcome back to the PGR Lite Series post-race show. We now have a confirmation on the final point standings and the drivers that will be competing in next week's championship race. Matthew Baker stands by with those results.
And with the results, the DQ of Chris Blanchard moves up Brian Hennings 1 spot, but it's 3 spots too short. Michael Triscaro on that last lap, not even running the race, able to get in. He will be the last car in on the championship in the points. Let's pull him up here into the booth and get a word with him. Hey, Mike, it's Matt and Landon up in the booth. If you're there, I know you're pretty hammered. Or if you're talking to your family, sounds like.
Oh,
there?
I'm there, baby. National title, and I'm in the championship race, baby. Let's go.
So what was the drink of choice tonight, Mike?
Yeah, you know, we had some White Claws, we had some Sun Cruisers.
What?
And some IPAs.
What?
Jeez. I mean, who'd you like to thank or shout out for this significant performance throughout the season? Even though you missed the last race of the year, the most important race of the year, it didn't matter. You're able to get in.
I'm going to thank 3-time Freddie Baznez for getting the job done. I'll tell you what, he was the only hope I had, and the guy pulled through at the end. 3-time Freddie Baznez, unfortunately of Nightmare Esports, much to Landon's dismay. I got to give it to the kid. Freddie Baznez got me in the championship, baby.
Well, it came down to those last couple corners. Hennings trying to go for it. No fault to him. He doesn't want to push a new guy to the win because he knows he won't get in. He was trying to hunt down and be good on points if he finished inside that top 10. But it all mixed up. I thought Kasinger was going to come away with the win with the way Freddie was blocking, and it just all unfolded right for you. And we're going to be happy to see you in the championship. Try and get out there and run for it and get that win on Monday night. I know it's not a Thursday night win and you're still searching, but to win a championship in the Lite Series would mean a bunch.
I really would, man. I'm excited. I was so close to a win in week 2 and just had a few bad weeks the last 3 weeks. So I'm just gonna try to, not got nothing to lose now. Kind of on house money, having to miss tonight's race. I know it was a tough break for Hennings and Sipple. We just brought, or PGR eSports just brought Sipple onto the team this week, so I know those guys are talking about it right now. Unfortunate way to end for them, but lucky for me, I'm gonna be alive next Monday night, man. I'm ecstatic. Can't wait for it.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Mike. I know we'll see you next week, and then I know I'll see you on Thursday night as we prepare for the PGR 500. Talk to us a little about the 500. Tell us when the deadline is to register for all those money regulars still out there watching this interview.
Yeah, everyone get registered for the PGR 500. Deadline's going to be 11:59 p.m. Eastern this Friday night. Go to pgresports.com and sign up for that 500. We're still on pace. We've had about 5 or 6 entries a day. And if we hit that through the end of this week, we're going to hit that 200 mark. So make sure if you're still waiting, get in that race, man. It's going to be a heck of a week next week. I know it's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be rewarding in the end. So I'm looking forward to it and looking forward to crowning the first PGR 500 champ. But big shout out to the Buckeyes, OHIO national champs.
Oh, I can tell you lost your voice already. 2 wins in a day, and go out there and get that 3rd win next week. Thanks for talking to us, Mike.
Thanks, guys.
Well, there we go. That is Michael Triscaro, who did so much work here tonight while he was too busy watching the national championship game. And not only, like he said, to my dismay, for some reason, that Freddie's on Nightmare. Now, the Ohio State Buckeyes were the national champions, and can't say I'm a very big fan of them, so I was not very happy to see that. I've been giving Mike a bunch of crap all week about that. But either way, Michael Triscaro doesn't race. I guess he kind of just worked his way into the championship race here tonight. He will be one of the drivers competing next Monday night in the final race of season number 1 of the PGR Lite Series. Well, Baker, do you have any more final thoughts on what this race we had here tonight? It was a little bit different, had a little bit of a different feel to it. Sure, we had the wrecks and everything, but overall, some kind of crazy racing up front, solidified with a wild finish.
Yeah, it just all came down to that finish, and I can't wait to go back and watch the call because you and I were both all over the place. There was just so much happening on the track on those last couple of laps, and that's the Xfinity car for you. The 2 races it has put on an absolute show, and that just shows you that's going to be our championship car with our top 8 advancing on: Freddie Basnez, Austin Green, David Flanagan, Joshua McCullough, Carl Bond, Wyatt Gray, Stephen Miles, and Michael Triscaro.
Yeah, definitely a lot to look forward to next Monday night. So definitely tune in for that. And like Michael Triscaro was saying, go get signed up for the PGR 500. We keep saying it every broadcast. Go get signed up for it. You know you want to. Come get your chance at winning $1,700 on February 2nd. Well, we appreciate you tuning in here tonight. Definitely was a crazy race, a fun one to sit here in the booth and broadcast with you, Baker. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone at PGR eSports. Appreciate everyone watching at home. Congrats again to Freddie Basnez. We hope all of you out there have an extremely, very, very, very good night.